Hi, hello, happy Sabbath, and Shabbat Shalom, and greetings from the baby. There's a snowflake in a raindrop, and a Sally, and a Dell, yes, and a rototiller over there, probably Candy too. I don't see her, but anyhow, so yeah, we've been home for another week or so since the feast, and waffle iron over there. I mean, not waffle iron, white oak. That's waffle iron right there. Or Mr. Snookums coming across the field. Yeah. So these babies all seem to be all fat and pumped up and doing all right. So I'm pretty happy for their condition. Sadly, it looks like I'm a little bust on grapes. Yes, I realize there are a couple of grapes here and there, but for the most part, a large portion of my grape crop got wiped out. I'm guessing it was because of squirrels or something like that. But for the most part, I'm pretty much busted on grapes. I don't really have any grapes left to harvest to speak of. Not enough to be worth the effort. So sadly, that happened while we were gone to feast. I should have picked them beforehand, but I wasn't prepared to. Maybe next year I'll be prepared to. I'm never prepared, it seems, to pick the grapes in time, and I hardly ever get them picked at all. Yeah, here's your waffle iron. Here's your waffle iron. What you doing? So, unfortunately, that's one of them deals. This coming week, we've got a lady coming to trim hooves. That won't be anything terribly exciting to look at, but just events going on. And other than that, of course, our fields, we've been blessed with a little bit of rain, and our fields are still green. Been praying for the rain for several of the farmers around here because, well, they need rain for their fields, whether they've got cattle or they're raising hay. Speaking of hay, I was capable of securing a year's worth of hay. Was very blessed on that. You might notice that Gretel's down in here. The lady that cares for our goats decided to put her in this field, and I'm fine with that. Still haven't got my well house work done yet. Still got cucumbers to pick for pickling here and there. I'm not going to go through there. But the big thing is we got just about 5 tons of hay for just ever so slightly more than $100 a ton. You notice I've got it tarped so I can try to keep it from rotting. This got a little bit wet, and that's kind of, well, acceptable losses, I suppose. But each of these bales dry probably weighs about 800 pounds. I've got 12 of them. There's 4 right here. I built myself a little bit of a wooden structure using the air nailer just to hold up these tarp so that over the winter, hopefully, that'll keep this hay dry. Also, all this hay is up off the ground now, which is what I've been meaning to do forever. This hay is sitting up on cement blocks. And what that does is it allows air to flow underneath here so there's no condensation. I took that one tarp there, that big heavy PVC tarp, which is about to the end of its life in many ways. It's gotten brittle and crumbling and stuff, so it's losing its overall resistance to water. That was down on the ground, and it was trapping more moisture than it was preventing, so I just went ahead and put it over as a roof instead of as a bottom. So this over here's got a roof, obviously, and then it's got air underneath it now, so hopefully that will keep these things from getting all rotted to the ground. Getting back to vegetables, Mom's sage is still alive. Last attempts we had at sage died, so this is better than before. And we've got more tomatoes out here than apparently the squirrels can take advantage of. And you notice I've got some nice big plump ones finally. Took forever. Took the phosphorus a while to, oops, dropped my freshly ripened tomato right into the abyss. And I will probably never see it again. Oh well, figures. Anyhow, so the basil's still flowering. We'll probably try to figure out a way to pack the basil somehow and make it where it's usable as a food. I think I've got basil seeds on my hands now. There'll be basil growing up here, I'll guarantee you. Mints grow here like crazy. And there's a potato growing out of there, new one that I say new. Well, I've documented it before. That's aggravating that I dropped that tomato there. I was wanting to eat that. Anyhow, for the most part, there's hundreds of them on there still. It's probably time to put more phosphorus on there, but this big one, maybe I can eat that one before I drop it on the ground. Okay. But yeah, between the cucumbers, that was about ready to be picked. I'll probably pick it tomorrow. Between the cucumbers and the tomatoes, they're doing all right. Ghosts haven't bothered them any. Sadly, despite my best efforts, well, that'd be kind of fraudulent to say my best efforts. Despite my half-assed efforts, boys came in here and bit the top off of the pepper again. Went over the top of it and bit it off. It's down here now. And it'll probably die, but I just wanted to see if I couldn't. See, it's got a fruit on it. If I can keep it focused. This one has a couple fruits on it still, the main plant. They don't bite them off too. The thing is, they don't eat them, they just bite them off. It's like acts of vengeance. Everybody says these are yarrow, and they seem to be doing alright, so hopefully they'll be alright. And then hopefully I'll be able to get these peppers developed or overwintered or something. So I was given some, oh, they are sprouting. Yay. They are sprouting. I was given some lentils. I'm going to now cover them up because of the fact that I've learned the hard way that once they start sprouting, any bit of dryness and they'll just immediately die as quick as they sprout. So I've got to make certain that I put just enough soil on them to keep them moist while they get a bit of a root into them. I tried planting lentils in the past, and even though some of them sprouted, they died quickly thereafter. And I think it's because they were in too much water. They were drowned. They were downstairs and there was standing water on them and they couldn't handle that. So we'll just have to hope that these happen to be a little more drained, since I guess they're not any more resistant. Now coming down here, I don't know if it's immediately, evidently zoom back out so I know I'm zoomed out. Well, you see this looks a little different. Quad runner's out in the field, as is that camper shell frame. And that's because I've got 2 more bales of hay. That one's not quite as big as the other, but it's still a pretty good sized bale of hay. Anyhow, so I've got hay in here and that gives me a total of 12 bales. And they're pretty good size. In fact, they're bigger than 5 feet, so I figure I've gotten well more than, and I only paid $30 a piece for them, plus $200 to my brother to drive them here from Violet Hill. Then the last thing I've got to remark, I think I've mentioned in the past though, that blackberry over there died, so I'm not going to go down there and show its dead carcass, but it died, so no reason to go down there and look at it. But what I did get done, thankfully, is I got the mirror back on the truck. Now, it's barely hanging on, and I mean literally just barely hanging on. If I was to yank that really hard, it'd come out. So, this is the original frame. I had to hammer it back into shape, and I took a mirror that was on it and a new one, I'll show you that in a minute, and I mounted it in here, mashed it in. This is just one of them ribbon nuts. It took me forever to find the thing, and a washer and some 1/4 screws, and that's just until such times I can deal with either welding that up or doing something else to the sheet metal, because it's too thin to weld with the big welder. The little welder isn't running, and Paul's wire feed welder is I'm not good with it. It's a little hard for me to use. So just to briefly point out what I had done, let me turn the light on here. Yeah, where is it? There it is. I bought this mirror here. It's a kit. And I pulled the new mirror out of this. The backer on this thing is radically different from the, otherwise I'd have just put it straight on, but I couldn't. So instead I just pulled the glass and the liner out of it, and put the glass and the liner where you just saw it, and that's how that works. This one here I got, actually I don't remember when I got this. I got it a long time ago, and it was originally slated for the Ford. I'm not for sure if I'll even use it on the Ford or not, but it's just kind of a different kind of, I guess they sit in from the top and the bottom like so. Anyhow, so I'll probably use it on something for sure, just not for sure what. I really need to get a matching set of mirrors for whatever, since the mirrors on the Ford all got tore off and pretty wore out, so I should probably just replace them. But then again, the thing is I'm going to put a different cab on there, so I have waited to see what I do with the other cab. I think the other cab has mirrors on it, to be honest with you, but I don't remember now. I don't look at the truck so often that I even think about it, to be truthful with you. But it is kind of funny that I go by it all the time. I'm sure it's got some kind of little mirrors on it, but I'm not quite for sure exactly what they look like. Yeah, it's got mirrors on it. They're just, they're smaller. Probably what I will end up doing is I will probably put larger mirrors on it anyhow. I don't know. I will make that decision at a later date, I'm sure. Yeah, it's got both mirrors on both sides. So, sorry that I was aimed at the ground there. Between those branches, you can see the mirrors there. So yeah, it doesn't really need other mirrors than it has. So, I don't know what I'll do. But it's better to have them and not need them than need them and not have them. I've got mirrors on International, so pretty much all my trucks will have mirrors by the time I'm done. But from And see, that thing is still a long ways from being worked on. And that thing needs a coil. And that mantis needs a fuel line put in it, which I finally found. Of course, the track loader needs its alternator mounted up and its wiring finished. And Blue Tractor is working well enough, although it really needs its air filter back on and its sheet metal. So I've got lots of stuff to do now that I'm in better health. And Yahweh willing, I'll get it done someday. But, well, not today. But I am very thankful for the rain we got. And by the way, as far as flowers go, they're not instantaneously visible right this moment. But somewhere around here I've got some verbena coming back up that are somewhere. Mom was over here. She didn't come out very often because of bugs biting her and making her really sore. But oh, there they are. Yeah. I don't know if we'll get a lot of verbena this fall or not. There's a little bit right there. And there's just a few here and there. They're always here. They're always alive. They're just not always flowering. And then those sunflowers are still putting up a fight against attrition. And then the waxweed is flowering healthy. And then the asters are doing their thing happy. Strikes me somewhere around here, wasn't very far from here, I saw another bachelor button, but I don't remember where it's at now. It may have been up there where that hay was. So, but for the most part, we're having a late fall flowering event. Goldenrods has come and gone, I think, and everything is kind of spread out. Of course, what they call the Russian Lespedeza is still flowering, and it will probably flower for at least another couple weeks. I don't know. It's not really super abundant, but it's there. What can you say? And that's everything I can think of that has happened or should happen. Again, I haven't finished working on my fencing stuff yet. Alright, well, that's all I'm going to mention this week, and y'all have a wonderful rest of your Sabbath. Shalom, and we'll see you later.